3 weeks later, we finally got the right bumper back from Rough Country. It was a little bit of a haul. We've had some snowstorms that have delayed it, but we're here and we need to get this on. So what we're doing now, this is where we left off with the last video. So this bumper that's wrong needs to come off. That'll be step number 1 for today. And then we're gonna take the grill off again because we need to cut the profile, and we also need to take out the windshield washer fluid tank. So we're gonna get started. All right, this is always something that makes me nervous. I hate cutting things that are meant for the vehicle, but you see these little tabs here? What those little tabs were is that brush guard, or whatever you want to call it, that went around the top of the bumper, that trim guard. So these have to come off because they'll get in the way of the new bumper. So I'm taping my my multi-max tool, whatever you call it, and I'm going to clip that off of there. Nothing on the chrome, just clip it smooth as I go down here to remove this piece. Okay, so we've got that grill taken care of. Now we need to remove the washer tank, because if you can see down here, the washer tank will stick out. Since this is a high clearance bumper, it will actually, the washer tank will stick below. So they provided us another tank that needs to get mounted separately. So the way this tank comes out is there's a 10mm screw that's come through the wheel guard, and then there's also a pop rivet. So I'll do these two, and then I'll have to look from the top side because I'm not exactly sure how that comes up. A little intimidated by this. So we'll see how we do. We might end up using that. So we've got the one bolt that came out here, a pop rivet out here. Now what I'm showing on the top, the only thing I can see, the light's not very good here, is another 10mm bolt right there. I'm kind of hoping this comes out and then the whole assembly will drop out from the bottom. So we'll see that. If not, there's a accessory battery tray right here that I hope that does not need to come out because I don't want to go further than I have to. So Luke found one more bolt underneath the tank behind it. I can't really see his hand up in there, but he's able to get the wrench and do that, so hopefully that will mean that it comes out. All right, so we found the bolt right there, the bolt that's on the fender well. There's another bolt that you have to get your hand in, and then there's this one which goes right here on this battery tray, and then that released everything from the tank. And now we're trying to wiggle the tank out from the bottom. So that's our next step. All right, so we've got to, we're working on this tank. We finally got the tank out. I've actually cut it up already. This was the original tank with the original spout. Boom, that's what it looked like. There was a float switch and a little pump in this. So we've got to reinstall that float switch and pump here. So what they've told us to do in the instructions, and it's 1 inch up, 2 inches over, then 2 inches up, 1 inch over, and do a 3/4 inch hole in both of those locations, and then we'll reinstall those pumps. And I'm trying to use my drill press just because I don't know what the heck I did with my drill is hiding in the garage somewhere, so. Right, there's one. Ugh, the little tab is stuck on there. I'll have to figure out how to get that out. All right. The washer tank has two electrical connections. It's got the float switch, and then it's got the pump. And gonna have to remount this tank in here, which means that the wire needs to be spliced to make longer. So the kit provides you with this splice, and so I didn't do it on the camera, but basically it came with two butt connectors, the heat shrink butt connectors, and I put the heat shrink butt connectors, and then just for added measure I wrapped some electrical tape on it. So that's one of the things you need to do before you mount that tank in place. We'll show you that next. Okay, my least favorite thing to do is to drill into a boat or a car, so I'm doing it again. Here's the washer tank. You can see it fits right in here. I've marked where I want it to go, and I'm going to pre-drill the holes, and then they provided these self-tapping bolts to go in there. So here we go. I'm trying real hard not to push and hit this panel. Okay, here's one. Oh, I don't know what that was. This is really hard to get in here. We'll get back. All right, that was a little bit of a fight. It's not an easy job, but we did it. We removed that tank, as you saw, put the new one in. We extended the wire, and then this is where we mounted it. So we wanted to show you where we mounted it. If you go to one of my other videos, you'll see the Wolo horn video. But that kind of made it a little complicated, and we had to find a new place for the compressor for the horn. But we got it. I think we're in good shape. Now we can actually start working on the bumper, getting that going. We've got one other thing which we're kind of playing with. I wanted to pull the bumper out so you can see it. We bought, to save a little money, I bought floodlights from Harbor Freight, okay? And so that's one thing we've got to do is try to hook those up to the bumper. So I've made this little rig here. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but I'll just explain it because I'm not going to be able to video it. So this is the inside of the bumper we're putting on, and you can see there's a bracket here and a bracket on this side. What I've done is I've made out of a little aluminum stock a little harness, and then what I'm going to do with that harness is I'm going to mount these lights to it so that they'll shine through the bumper. I think that'll look pretty cool. And these were only 25 bucks each, where they wanted $300 from the Rough Country. I'm sure the Rough Country are beautiful, fit custom, but I didn't want to spend that kind of money, so we'll see how Harbor Freight $25 lights do. Just before we put the bumper on, it comes with a couple trim kits. You can see this one's going on. We've put our fog lights in that I mentioned before. I'm kind of happy with how that came out. And now what we're going to do is just simply, it's a nut and a lock wash. It's a lock nut with a nut and a bolt and a washer, and we just put all those in. You have a couple options. It can either be the grid pattern like you have there, or it can be a blank plate. We're going to actually mount the license plate here with a little bit of open space, and then we'll decide what we want to do in the other parts. But that's what we're doing now before we put the bumper in place. All right, close the loop on the video here. So we did get the other bumper back in. I guess you've seen the repairs since I'm out of sequence here. But I just wanted to show it to you. It did come out nice. I actually went to Harbor Freight and got some cheap little floodlights. They worked out great. I think I can't remember. It's been a couple weeks since I took the video, but I think I showed you how I did that. But overall, pretty happy. I wish the customer service for rough country was a little bit better. They took care of it. It didn't cost me any extra money. They paid for shipping and all of that, but it took a long time. You can see it's warm, and I've got short sleeve shirts, and it was cold. It was about 2 months, I think, to get everything up together and everything like that. But quality wise, very good. I would recommend it from a quality perspective, and maybe it was just a fluke and time of year from a shipping standpoint that it was rough for me. But everything went in. You can see I'm pretty happy with the results. I'll walk away from the camera, and I realized I was not talking into the camera. I mean microphone. But you can see, I think overall, it's a pretty nice looking bumper. It was tough, struggled a bit getting it even. I will say that. I think that's more the truck than the bumper. I'm sure the bumper is square and the truck is not. Um, and I wanted it to be a little bit tighter up to it, but at least I've got it even and it looks good all the way across. So I'm happy with that. And Luke is super happy with it. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you find it helpful when you're putting this on yourself. Bye.